Hi, I'm Krishna from the Bedford Public Library, and today we're going to be reading about Binny's Diwali by Triti Umbrigar and illustrated by Nidhi Chanani. Did you know this Saturday is going to be Diwali, and Hindus all around the world will be celebrating? So let's find out more. Binny woke up happy, but nervous. It was her day to share about Diwali, the festival of lights. Since her class was learning about different celebrations, her teacher, Mr. Boomer, had asked her to talk about her favorite holiday. Last month, Sarah talked about Rosh Hashanah, and today it was Binny's turn. She hoped everything would go just as she and her teacher had planned. Binny started getting ready for school. She smiled as she noticed the Indian outfit that her mom and dad had laid on her chair. Maybe it was the perfect day to wear her new blue suede shoes for good luck. Binny turned around and got a glimpse of her mom looking so beautiful in the bright red silk sari her dad had brought for her for Diwali. Everybody went shopping for Diwali. Kids got new clothes and toys, and parents brought each other jewelry, and friends exchanged gift baskets filled with cakes, sweets, and nuts. Wearing her new clothes, Binny ran downstairs for breakfast, and instead of cereal, Mom and Dad had a treat for her: warm jalebis and soft, milky pedas that crumbled in her mouth and made her lick her lips. Dad quickly packed the rest of the goodies for her class. May the words you speak today be as sweet as jalebis and soft as the pedas, he said. Mom drove Binny to school. Remember to tell them about the oil lamps, she told Binny, and she kissed her goodbye. Good luck, Ben. You'll do great. After morning circle time, Mr. Boomer called Binny's name. But when she stood before the class, a terrible thing began to happen. Suddenly, she felt so shy and scared, and her mind went blank. Some children began to giggle. Others fidgeted, not knowing what to say. Today is Diwali, Binny said nervously. Diva who? Said Tommy. The teacher stood and gave the sign for quiet. Binny did want to share her favorite holiday with her friends, but she couldn't find the words. Mr. Boomer put a kindly hand on her shoulder. Take a deep breath, he whispered. I know you can do this. Just then, Binny remembered what Mom had told her about the happy day. To celebrate Diwali, people lit little oil lamps called diyas and put them by their front door to guide good luck into their homes and chase away the darkness. All over the world, Diwali marked the victory of goodness and light. Binny knew now what to say. Diwali is the festival of lights. It's a Hindu holiday that lasts 5 days, and it celebrates the victory of goodness and hope. She told them about the fireworks and how they whistled through the air and burst like stars in the night sky. She described the sparklers that her dad lit in the yard and how she made figure eights with them. Mr. Boomer brought over the streamers that Binny had made, and she took some out with colorful glitter and asked Julia and Aisha to help her make them brighter. The class gathered around Mr. Boomer's desk, and Binny handed him an electric clay diya. The teacher turned it on, and the small flickering light looked so pretty that all the children oohed and awed. Binny told them that if on Diwali you looked down from an airplane, you'd see the city shine like a diamond, lights shimmering everywhere you looked. She made them close their eyes and imagine the dark sky with a million twinkling stars. Diwali was a magical time for children. Binny had one more thing to show them, the best thing of all. She took out a bag of colored powder, red, blue, yellow, purple, green, orange, and she sprinkled them onto the floor. First, she drew a flower with the powdered chalk, and then she used it to write Happy Diwali. The children started clapping, and Binny went to her desk, and out came the box of pedas and jalebis, one for each student in the class, and for Mr. Boomer, of course, too. They ate every last crumb of the sweets, and they licked their lips with delight. Romeo raised his hand. "How many festivals are there in the world?" he asked. Binny smiled. "Thousands of them," she said, "and they're all beautiful in their own way." Mr. Boomer leaned over to Binny and said, "Great job." She grinned from ear to ear. Binny walked home that day, celebrating her own victory of goodness and light. The spirit of Diwali was real. The story of the oil lamps had chased away her own fears. Everyone loved Diwali and this wonderful festival of lights. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed hearing about Binny's Diwali. I know I learned a lot when I read this book. But I wanted to ask you a question. Have you ever had to stand up in front of a class or a big group and talked about your culture or your heritage or your religion? It can be kind of scary. I remember I came to this country when I was 5 years old. And when I was in school, I had to get up and talk about Diwali and what it was like to be Indian, the different kinds of foods we ate and the clothes that we wore. And I kind of felt the way Binny did. I felt shy and scared. And sometimes my mind went blank and I didn't know what to say. But one thing that I really liked in this book was that Mr. Boomer and Binny had made a plan. She knew what she was going to say that day. She knew what she was going to bring to show and tell. She even knew what she was going to wear that day to school. She had that beautiful dress laid out. So I think it's a good idea to have a plan. And I also like that Mr. Boomer told her to take a deep breath, because sometimes that's all it takes to make yourself feel a little bit better. Happy Diwali, friends. Hi, friends. One of the fun traditions of Diwali is making these beautiful lanterns. So we're going to be making a lantern like this one right here that you can hang in your house.
I am now going to show you how you can make your very own Diwali lantern. For this project, you will need 2 different colored pieces of paper, some glue, scissors, a stapler, and you can also use some washi tape to decorate if you want. So we will start by folding one of our pieces of paper, hot dog style. And then we're going to cut off just a little bit so that our first piece of paper is a little smaller than our second piece of paper. So, just about that much there. Then we are going to cut from that folded side going up, not all the way to the end, leaving a little gap. We're going to cut long strips all the way across the paper. So we can now open this up, and we are going to glue this bottom here to our bottom slip of paper. We'll have one corner where it'll be lined up, and there'll be a little extra room on this side because we made that first paper a little smaller. for the second side, we don't want to glue all the way to the end. We want to give a little bit of room. So I will probably glue it about there. The next step is to cut off this extra strip here. So now we can fold our lantern. If we bend it like this little extra piece here will allow us to glue our lantern together. This is where having a third hand would come in handy. Like so. Once it has dried, I added a staple here at the bottom and the top to keep it together. And I'm also going to add washi tape around the top and the bottom just to color it, but this part's just optional. I hope you still have that second piece of paper that we used when we cut our second color, because we are going to use this for the handle. Now I think mine's a little wide, so I'm going to make it a little shorter. And for fun, I'm also just going to put a little washi tape here to decorate. Ta-da! The final step is to attach your handle to your lantern. You can either glue it or staple it, whichever you prefer. And there we have our finished lantern.